Remakes are commonplace in Hollywood, but are also popular in television and video games. But in the realm of comics, alternate universes and updates seem to fill the void that remakes usually fill in other media. But that's not to say that there aren't comic book remakes of other comics, they're just extremely rare. But on the off chance you do find one, they all seem to be Batman. One of these remakes is of The Case of the Chemical Syndicate, the debut Batman story by Bill Finger, with art by Bob Kane. When Commissioner Gordon is visiting with his friend Bruce Wayne, a crime calls Gordon to investigate the murder of a business tycoon who had a safe robbed and his son's prints on the knife. From there the story shifts to a mysterious Batman who finds the killers, but realizes there is more to the case. It's a nice little debut that features atmosphere, mystery, action, red herrings, and a twist ending that makes the whole story feel more cohesive. For a 76-year-old comic, it hasn't aged as well as a lot of the early Superman adventures, but it's still an enjoyable 6-page time capsule. The remake, written by Eisner winner Brad Meltzer with art by superstar Brian Hitch, carries mostly the same plot, but has quite a bit of tweaks and changes. Some of these changes are by setting the story in a modern context, but also in its narrative approach. Meltzer's version is entirely from Bruce's point of view, and it has an inner monologue as well as an ongoing journal entry. So how do I feel about the new version of The Case of the Chemical Syndicate? It's okay. This is something I want to like more than I do. It's got great ideas behind it, but a lot of these ideas step on one another, and the end product is admirable but problematic. Meltzer approached this project with an interesting high concept, to tell the story with the same amount of panels as the original. See, the original is only 6 pages, but it is a whole 55 panels. I think this approach was not only to show how Batman and storytelling within comics have changed, but also to show how the medium has remained the same in its core idea of words married with juxtaposed pictorial and other images in deliberate sequence. Today's comics layouts and comic storytelling have evolved to page-size panels, 2-page panels, panels inside of panels, and many such like liberties of panels that placing the original story in this new artistic environment is a brilliant idea. But not only is the art set in a modern context, so too is the writing. As mentioned before, there is an inner monologue employed as well as a reoccurring journal entry. Both elements seem to have replaced the omniscient narrator of the Golden Age, not only in this story, but across the medium in general. Lastly, Batman's world is out of the modern context. The original didn't have a Batcave, an Alfred, or even an origin. All these elements built up over time. So on paper, all these ideas sound great, honoring the original story, combining it with Batman's collective history, and bringing it all into a modern context. So what went wrong? Words slow the pacing in comics, and the journal entry that tells us why Batman is doing what he's doing is not only repetitive, and we get the point very early on, but when the action kicks in, it chokes the art and ruins the pace. It's also odd to have a real-time inner monologue coexisting with a non-related journal entry, and it's even more awkward when in the same panel we have journal entry, dialogue, and inner monologue. It's just trying to do too much. What's also unfortunate is the 55 panel idea isn't the final product. Brian Hitch's end result is 63 panels, so that great high concept pretty much means nothing. Outside of this shortcoming, I have nothing but high praise for Hitch. Overall, The Case of the Chemical Syndicate is an average, somewhat forgettable story that could have made a remarkable remake, at least from a creative standpoint, if the ideas had been refined and stuck to. Thank you for watching, and until next time, this is Connor Nielsen, signing out.